Hello and welcome to this episode of the Online Course Creator Show. It's so good to have you here today. If you are new around here, this is a podcast where I talk all about creating online courses and other scalable products so that we have more time in our business, we have more time in our lives, we have financial and time freedom, which is something that I'm hugely passionate about. So it's so good to have you tuning in today. And today is a little bit of a quickie episode, and I wanted to share with you 3 signs that it's time to add an online course to your business. Now, I am someone who has come from a background in actually doing a done-for-you type business model where I had a small agency. I had a lot of clients, mainly on retainer, but I also did shorter term projects for some clients as well. I had the business where you literally had to be at my desk in order to make money. And over time, I really noticed some things coming up that showed me that that business model was no longer going to work for me, and it was not scalable. And unless I wanted to grow a team and effectively become a people manager, and let's face it, I could have gone back to corporate to do that, there was really no future in that business model for me. And I was experiencing burnout as a result of that business model as well. So that is when I switched to an online course-based business. I actually did already have an online course that I'd created around about that time, actually, that I'd started to realize that that model was not going to work for me in the longer term. And while it was a great experience, there's no doubt about that. I learned so much during that phase. It was just not the business model that was going to help me get to where I wanted to go and, quite frankly, lead the life that I wanted to live. I didn't want to leave corporate to be stuck at my desk in a business where I had literally just created another job for myself, except this was a job that it wasn't a 9 to 5, it was a 6 to 10 p.m. kind of thing. So I wanted to share with you 3 signs that it's time to add an online course to your business, okay, so that you can get away from that time for money swap and actually start creating that business, that lifestyle that you really want. So 3 signs. The first one is that you're booked out, you've got less availability than their inquiries that you're getting. So maybe someone reaches out to you and wants to start working with you, but you are booked out and you actually can't start working with them for 2 to 3 months from the time that you're having this conversation for a new client. This is something that is actually celebrated a lot by people that have the kind of time for money service-based business. However, it is a clear indication that the business model that you have cannot scale. So basically, you've reached your peak. What you're making right now, unless you were to go and clone yourself and effectively hire people to do what you do as well, you have reached the peak of how much money you can make. And sure, you can raise your prices, but there is a limit to how many times you can increase your prices, right? It's not infinite. People just aren't going to pay a ridiculous amount of money for a service when you've got competitors that you need to be somewhat in the same vicinity as. Now, that's a whole different conversation. But this is a sure sign that it's time to add an online course to your business because it is more leveraged, it's more scalable. Once you've got it up and running, you absolutely do not need to be available to actually deliver the product. So you're going to get your time back. Okay, so that's sign number 1. If you are booked out as a service provider, it's absolutely time to add a leveraged income stream to your business, whether that's an online course or it could also be a digital product, something like that. Now, the second sign that it's time to add an online course to your business is if you've got something big coming up in your life and you don't know how you can juggle that and keep doing what you're doing in business. So whatever this thing is means that it's actually going to effectively take you out of the business whatever that thing is going to take your time, and you're no longer going to be able to dedicate that time to your business. So that could be a range of things, right? Expected things could be having a baby, going on maternity leave. Maybe for some reason you have to go back into the workforce and you still want to keep your business making money as a side hustle while you do that. Like, we don't like to talk about those things, but it's actually very common. And we don't know the reason for that. It could simply be to get credit, to get more credit to buy a property or something like that. So maybe you want to step back into the workforce to have a more stable income for a few months even, but you still want to keep growing your business. Now, this is a great time to actually create an online course, create that leverage product where, again, you have that delivery side of the product automated. It's already done, it's already created. And once you make the sale, the delivery is done. Okay, so that could be another sign. And I also wanted to mention here that sometimes in this realm, this is unexpected. So it could be someone in your family requiring your time to care for them. Or it could be that you yourself actually experience some kind of circumstance, like an injury or unexpected illness, where suddenly you're not able to sit at your desk for 8 hours a day, but you still need to make an income. So if something happened to you right now, would your business still be able to make an income? And if the answer to that is no, that wouldn't be possible, then it's time to add an online course to your business. Now, the third sign that it's time to add an online course to your business is that you are simply done with having clients. You are done with being told what to do. You are done with having multiple bosses. So that's definitely something that I found, right? So I left corporate where I had one boss, and then I started my own business. And as it got more and more successful, I went from having one boss to having 10 different bosses, and they all wanted a piece of me, right? And they were all paying to have a piece of me. So it's not their fault. They're actually paying for that privilege or that ability to buy my time. And if for whatever reason, like I had no energy, maybe I was feeling burnt out, or my son was sick, or I was on holiday, it didn't really matter to them. They wanted their money's worth. Totally, which is totally expected, right? But as the person providing that service, it can start to feel really old really quickly. So if you are feeling like that, it's definitely time to add an online course. And I'll also add there, if you're starting to feel burnt out in your business because of this model, because it literally never ends, then it is a sure sign it's time to move on from this business model and actually focus on creating a leveraged product, like an online course in your business that you can sell on repeat, where the delivery side of it is automated. So if you're thinking about an online course, about creating an online course in your business, and you resonate with any of these three signs, then I definitely recommend that it's time for you to make a move. Start taking action, and before you know it, you'll have things up and running, and you'll have so many new possibilities, new opportunities, and a whole different side of your business will start to come to fruition, and you will have freedom like you didn't even know existed. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. The business model that I moved away from, I literally could not go back to that now. There is no way that I could physically actually go back to that after knowing what's available to me in the world of online courses. So I guess this is your motivation to make that first move. I hope you enjoyed this short little episode today, and hopefully I'll see you next week as well. So I hope you enjoyed that short little episode from me today, and maybe it's your sign to take that very first step. Have a great rest of the week, and hopefully I'll see you on the next episode.